Why do we always feel the urge to check our phones? It's a habit that's so ingrained in us now that we can't go more than a few hours without seeing a notification pop up. And most times, we don't even need to be bored or have free time to find ourselves scrolling through Instagram or Twitter. We can be in the middle of something and still find our hands reaching out for our phones. But why do we do this? Are we just addicted to dopamine, or are there other things at play here? Let's dive deep into what drives us to push that notification button. First, let's address the elephant in the room. Yes, our phones were made to be addictive. Since the first iPhone was released back in 2007, these devices have only gotten smarter. They can fit in the palm of your hand, and they allow you to access any piece of information in a matter of seconds. Not only that, but with each new model, the phone companies find new ways to make them more and more powerful. What began as a simple device to call your friends has now turned into a computer that fits in your pocket, allowing you to shop online, connect with people from across the world, learn a new language, or watch a movie whenever you want. In fact, today, many smartphones have become the primary source of entertainment for many people, surpassing traditional means like television. And as these devices become more powerful, we humans find ourselves spending more and more time on them. However, while these phones offer a lot of benefits, they also present some problems. One of the biggest issues is the potential for overuse. It's easy to get lost in the endless scroll feed of content that these phones provide. With just a swipe of the finger, you can travel the globe from the comfort of your home or bed. This has led to a point where it seems that many people are addicted to their phones. As soon as they wake up, they check their phone, and they continue to do it throughout the day. Many people tend to make their phones one of the first things they interact with in the morning. For some, it's their alarm clock, but for many others, it's the thing that makes them wake up. People use their phones before doing anything else because they need to know what's happening in the outside world. Before brushing their teeth, many people already have gone through hundreds of posts on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram. And as the day goes on, they continue to repeat this process until they lay back down in their bed at night. So why do people find themselves in this situation? Why can't they control themselves and just put their phone away? The answer to this question is not straightforward, and many psychologists have tried to find out the root of this problem. Some say that it's all about dopamine, the neurotransmitter that plays a big role in our brain's reward system. When we do something good or beneficial for us, our brain releases dopamine, which then reinforces that behavior. Dopamine can be released from everyday activities like eating, sleeping, or socializing. However, nowadays, it can also be triggered by virtual activities. On social media platforms, every time we post something or see something that we like, our brain gets a little hit of dopamine, and this can be very addicting. That's why sometimes we find ourselves binge watching a show or scrolling through social media for hours on end. These platforms are designed to keep us engaged, and they use various techniques to trigger dopamine release, keeping us addicted to them. However, I believe that while dopamine does play a role in this, it's not the whole story. Dopamine is often referred to as the feel-good chemical in our brain, but it's not really that simple. While it's true that dopamine plays a significant role in our brain's reward system, it's just one part of a complex network of chemicals and hormones. To oversimplify it, dopamine doesn't necessarily make us feel good. Instead, it motivates us to seek out what feels good. It's like a GPS in our brain, guiding us toward experiences that we've learned are pleasurable or rewarding. In a similar way, hunger and thirst are not the same as eating and drinking. They're signals telling us that our body needs nourishment. So what are we craving when we reach out for our phones? Is it connection, entertainment, information, or something else entirely? Often it's a combination of these factors. But what's important to recognize is that these are all natural human desires. Connection is vital to our survival. Our brains are wired to seek it out. Entertainment is a way to escape from the stress of everyday life. Information can be empowering, giving us a sense of control over our environment. When we look at the basic human needs that drive our behavior, it becomes clear that social media companies have tapped into something primal. By providing us with an easy and immediate way to connect, entertain ourselves, and stay informed, these platforms have become an integral part of our lives. But why are we so addicted to them? A big part of it is because of the design of these apps. They are carefully crafted to keep us engaged as long as possible. Most of the popular ones follow a similar structure. You log in and see a feed of content tailored to your interest. This content is designed to be bite-sized and easily consumable, making it perfect for scrolling through on your phone. Every once in a while, you might come across a video or post that catches your attention and holds it just long enough to make you stay on the app longer than you had planned. This is intentional. Social media companies use data and algorithms to personalize your experience, ensuring that you see content you'll engage with. It's no accident that you see posts and videos from people you know or topics that you're interested in. This keeps you coming back for more, eager to see what new content will catch your eye. Another reason why these platforms are so engaging is that they provide a sense of community. You can connect with people who share similar interests as you and stay up to date on the latest trends and discussions. This sense of community can be particularly appealing in a world where many of us feel isolated or disconnected. But this is where it gets tricky. Social media companies are in the business of keeping you on their platforms for as long as possible. They have teams of experts dedicated to understanding human psychology and using that knowledge to create the most engaging and addictive experiences. This is not necessarily a bad thing in itself. After all, they are businesses, and keeping their users engaged is in their best interest. However, it's important to be aware of the tactics they use to keep you on their platforms. For example, one of the most effective tactics they use is creating a sense of urgency. This is done by using phrases like, "You only have 24 hours left," or "This offer won't last long." This creates a fear of missing out, which can motivate you to take action immediately. Another tactic they use is to provide rewards for certain behaviors. For example, they might offer you points or badges for completing certain tasks on the platform. This gamifies the experience and makes it more engaging. They also use something called loss aversion, which is our tendency to be more motivated by the fear of losing something than by the possibility of gaining something. For example, they might warn you that if you don't complete a certain task, you'll lose out on some rewards. This creates a sense of urgency and motivates you to take action. As you can see, social media companies use a variety of tactics to keep you engaged. While these tactics are not necessarily harmful in themselves, it's important to be aware of them so that you're not manipulated into doing something you do not want to do. By understanding how these tactics work, you can take steps to protect yourself from being taken advantage of. In conclusion, our addiction to content is driven by a complex interplay of factors. While dopamine plays a significant role, it's not the sole culprit. Instead, it's the basic human desires for connection, entertainment, and information that social media companies have tapped into. It's important to recognize that these are not bad things. Humans are social creatures who crave connection. We need entertainment to cope with stress and information to navigate our world. However, the issue arises when these needs are met by platforms that prioritize engagement over our well-being. When we spend more time scrolling through feeds than connecting with people in real life, when we turn to social media for comfort instead of engaging in activities that bring us joy, and when we rely on bite-sized information that keeps us distracted rather than informed, we've allowed these companies to commodify our basic human needs. So what can we do about this? The first step is awareness. Understanding the tactics used by social media companies to keep us engaged and recognizing the impact of these tactics on our lives is crucial. Once we're aware, we can start to hold these companies accountable. By demanding more transparency and regulation, we can create a social media landscape that respects our needs and values. It's also essential to find balance. Setting boundaries for our social media use and being intentional about the platforms we engage with can help us reclaim our time and attention. Nurturing real-life connections, seeking out meaningful activities, and staying informed through credible sources can provide us with the connection, entertainment, and information we crave without the negative consequences of excessive social media use. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up. Your support means a lot and helps us continue creating thought-provoking content. Thanks for watching.